Welcome to another Incubate show. My name is Basil Zaider, Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant. We're going to talk today about the Saskatchewan PNP Entrepreneurship Program. PNP stands for Provincial Nominee Program. Every province in Canada has the right to pick their own candidates, select their own immigrants when it comes to specific programs that the government of Canada allows them to manage, and then through that they can set up their own immigration programs, selection criteria, etc., etc. So, Saskatchewan has a PNP program for immigrants that want to come to Canada through investment. What's different about Saskatchewan is it's a work permit program. It's not a PR or a permanent residency program, which means first you have to come to Canada under a work permit, and then after meeting the immigration obligations towards the investment that you said you're going to do, then you can go ahead and apply for your permanent residency and then become a permanent resident in Canada. The investment amount in Saskatchewan to be able to set up your own business or purchase an existing business is 300,000 Canadian dollars in Regina or Saskatoon, or it's 200,000 Canadian dollars outside these two areas. So you're looking at more rural or remote areas, not the highly populated locations. So this is the investment amount. So it's 300,000 in Saskatoon or Regina, and then 200,000 outside. When it comes to net worth, you have to have a 500,000 Canadian dollar in net worth to be able to qualify for this program. So it depends on how much you want to invest. Depends on the nature of the business you're going to be investing in or opening. Some businesses are more suitable to remote areas. Some businesses are more suitable for more highly populated areas. So you either invest $300,000 or $200,000, but the net worth needs to be the same, which is $500,000. In terms of regulations or in terms of requirements to qualify for this program, Saskatchewan is pretty relaxed when it comes to their requirements. So they don't enforce age requirements or English requirements or even job requirements. So if you're going to set up a business outside Saskatoon and Regina, there are no job creation requirements. Inside these two areas, then you need to generate around 2 jobs plus when it comes to the area that you want to be investing in. The management experience requirement is a little bit also more flexible. So you need to have 3 years of management or business ownership experience within the past 10 years. Other provinces usually allow you to have that experience in more recent times, so 5 years. But Saskatchewan allows you to go up to the past 10 years from the day that you apply to that program. The obligations when it comes to the duration of the investment or how long do you need to continue managing the business after you invest in it, it's 6 months. Now, the reason why this is shorter than other provinces is because it's a work permit-based investment. So you come to Canada, you get your work permit, you start implementing your business, you do the investment, you hire the staff or you create the jobs. 6 months later, you can go ahead and apply to get your final nomination from the province in order to be able to go to CIC and apply for your permanent residency. So you're doing a 2-step approach versus other provinces allow you to go directly to PR or to permanent residency. Saskatchewan says, no, first get a work permit, prove that you have the ability to implement what you promised, and then after that apply for permanent residency. So because you get a work permit, there are no requirements for a deposit. So you don't really put a deposit anywhere. There used to be other provinces, or actually in Saskatchewan, there used to be a deposit of 75,000 Canadian dollars. And that's been waived because the program is now a work permit-based program, not PR. So when you come in, the government says, I know you're going to stay because I'm giving you a work permit. After you finish your requirements, then you can go ahead and apply for permanent residency. That's why they don't require the deposit on the side. It's a straightforward investment. You meet your obligations, then you convert or you apply for your permanent residency and replace your work permit. So In terms of other requirements, there's an they call it the exploration visit, or when it's a visit to Canada where you come in and explore the areas where you're going to be investing in, the businesses that you're going to be acquiring, or the locations where you're going to be setting up a new business. So that's mandatory. Other provinces, they tell you it's not mandatory, you get more points, or you might be able to say not visit prior to implementing your business or receiving your permanent residency. In Saskatchewan, you have to visit. It's a mandatory requirement, and in some cases you actually have to go through an interview with the PNP authorities. So to sum it up, for Saskatchewan, it's a $300,000 Canadian investment in Regina or Saskatoon. Outside, it's $200,000. Your net worth has to be $500,000 or $500,000 Canadian. You don't have any requirements to be able to demonstrate your English proficiency or age or even education. But you have to prove that you have at least 3 years of business ownership and management experience in the past 10 years. You have to come in on a work permit first. Then after that, you apply for permanent residency after 6 months when you meet your obligations towards the province. And you have an obligation of visiting Saskatchewan to be able to conduct an exploration visit and an interview with the PNP authorities. In terms of process for Saskatchewan PNP, it actually changed. You don't apply for permanent residency like I mentioned. You don't even apply for a work permit right away. First, you do something called an expression of interest, where you demonstrate to the government what you're interested to do. This is my business, this is my profile, that's who I am, that's what I'm going to do in your province. Then after you present this profile to the government, if they approve your expression of interest, then they give you an invitation to apply, and then you process your work permit application and later on your permanent residency. So the process changed. There is the expression of interest level that now has been introduced to the program, which wasn't there before. I hope this was a good way for you to better understand what the program in Saskatchewan is from an investment perspective and entrepreneurs that could invest and immigrate to Canada through this PNP program.